Sumer. Sumer was the world's earliest known civilization, emerging in southern Mesopotamia, now Iraq, around 4500 BCE. It built some of history's first cities, including Ur, Uruk, and Eridu, where trade, religion, and government flourished. The Sumerians developed Cuneiform, one of the world's first writing systems, allowing them to record laws, trade, literature, and history. They also invented the wheel, improved irrigation, and introduced the 60-based number system that still survives today in our measurement of time and angles. Indus Valley. The Indus Valley civilization emerged around 3300 BCE along the Indus River in present-day Pakistan and northwestern India, becoming one of the world's earliest urban societies. Its largest cities, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, were built on planned street grids with standardized brick houses, public wells, and advanced underground drainage systems. Archaeologists have found evidence of accurate systems for weights and measures, skilled metalworking, bead-making, pottery, and long-distance trade with Mesopotamia. Although its writing system remains undeciphered, the civilization's remarkable planning and engineering reveal a highly organized society long before many others reached the same level of development. Ancient Chinese. Ancient Chinese civilization began along the Yellow River, where early dynasties such as the Xia, Shang, and Zhou laid the foundations of Chinese culture and government. It later produced major inventions including paper, silk, gunpowder, and the compass, discoveries that transformed communication, trade, and warfare across the world. Chinese scholars also advanced astronomy, mathematics, metallurgy, and philosophy through schools of thought such as Confucianism, Taoism, and legalism. During the Qin dynasty, construction of the Great Wall began to defend northern borders, while later dynasties expanded China's influence across East Asia for thousands of years. Minoan. The Minoans were Europe's earliest advanced civilization, flourishing on the island of Crete from around 3000 to 1450 BCE. Their wealth came from maritime trade, connecting Egypt, the Near East, and mainland Greece through busy Mediterranean shipping routes. They built vast palace complexes such as Knossos, decorated with colorful frescoes, advanced plumbing systems, and impressive architecture that reflected a prosperous society. Although their civilization declined after natural disasters and Mycenaean expansion, Minoan art, trade, and culture strongly influenced the rise of ancient Greece. Mycenaean. The Mycenaeans dominated mainland Greece during the Late Bronze Age and became the first major Greek-speaking civilization. They built heavily fortified citadels, mastered bronze weaponry, and established trade networks stretching across the Mediterranean. Their rulers were warrior kings whose kingdoms inspired many legends later recorded in Homer's Iliad, including stories surrounding the Trojan War. Following the collapse of their civilization around 1200 BCE, Greece entered a period of decline before the rise of the classical Greek city-states. Hittite. The Hittites established a powerful empire in Anatolia, now modern-day Turkey, during the second millennium BCE. They became one of the earliest civilizations to make widespread military use of iron, while also fielding powerful horse-drawn chariots that dominated Bronze Age warfare. Their empire rivaled Egypt for control of the Near East, leading to the famous Battle of Kadesh. After the conflict, both powers signed one of history's earliest surviving peace treaties, marking an important milestone in international diplomacy. Phoenician. The Phoenicians lived along the eastern Mediterranean coast in present-day Lebanon, where they became the ancient world's greatest sailors, merchants, and shipbuilders. Rather than conquering vast territories, they built trading colonies across the Mediterranean, including Carthage, linking Europe, Africa, and Asia through commerce. Their greatest contribution was a simple phonetic alphabet that later inspired the Greek, Latin, and many modern writing systems. Carthage. Carthage was founded by Phoenician settlers on the coast of present-day Tunisia and grew into the dominant naval power of the western Mediterranean. Its wealth came from maritime trade, skilled shipbuilding, and control of important sea routes connecting Europe, Africa, and the Near East. Under generals such as Hannibal, Carthage challenged the expanding Roman Republic during the Punic Wars, including the famous campaign that crossed the Alps with war elephants. Rome ultimately destroyed the city in 146 BCE, but Carthage remains one of history's greatest commercial and military powers. Akkadian. The Akkadian civilization rose in Mesopotamia after Sumer and became history's first known empire under Sargon the Great around 2334 BCE. Instead of independent city-states, Sargon united much of Mesopotamia under a single ruler, creating a model later empires would follow. The Akkadians adopted Sumerian writing and culture while spreading the Akkadian language across the region. Although the empire lasted only about 2 centuries, it proved that vast territories with different peoples could be governed as one state. Babylonian. The Babylonians established their capital at Babylon, one of the ancient world's richest and most influential cities. Their greatest ruler, Hammurabi, introduced one of history's earliest written law codes, defining punishments, property rights, trade, and family law. Babylon also became a leading center of astronomy, mathematics, and literature, preserving knowledge from earlier Mesopotamian civilizations. Its scholars helped refine the 60-based mathematical system that still influences modern clocks and geometry. Assyrian. The Assyrians built one of the ancient world's most powerful military empires from northern Mesopotamia. Their armies pioneered large-scale use of iron weapons, siege engines, cavalry, and disciplined military organization, allowing them to conquer territories from Egypt to Persia. Their capital, Nineveh, housed one of history's first great libraries, preserving thousands of clay tablets covering science, religion, law, and literature. Much of what historians know about early Mesopotamia survives because the Assyrians carefully recorded it. Ancient Egyptian. Ancient Egypt developed along the Nile River around 3100 BCE after it was united under the first pharaoh. Annual floods made fertile soil, supporting one of history's most stable agricultural civilizations. Egyptians built pyramids, massive temples, and elaborate tombs using remarkable engineering techniques that still puzzle researchers today. They created hieroglyphic writing, a 365-day calendar, advanced medical knowledge, and complex religious beliefs centered on gods such as Ra, Osiris, and Isis. Ancient Greek. Ancient Greece developed around the Aegean Sea and was made up of independent city-states such as Athens, Sparta, Corinth, and Thebes, each with its own government and traditions. Athens became the birthplace of democracy, allowing male citizens to vote directly on important political decisions, while Sparta built its society around military discipline and warfare. Greek thinkers, including Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, transformed philosophy, while mathematicians such as Pythagoras and Euclid laid foundations still used today. The Greeks also excelled in literature, theater, medicine, science, architecture, and the Olympic Games. Achaemenid Persian. The Achaemenid Persian Empire was founded by Cyrus the Great around 550 BCE and became one of the largest empires in history, stretching from Egypt and Anatolia to Central Asia and the Indus Valley. Instead of forcing conquered peoples to abandon their customs, Persian rulers generally allowed local religions, languages, and traditions to continue under imperial rule. The empire was divided into provinces called satrapies, connected by the royal road and an efficient courier system that allowed messages to travel rapidly across thousands of kilometers. Persian engineers built canals, gardens, and monumental cities such as Persepolis, while standardized coins encouraged trade throughout the empire. The civilization came to an end after the conquests of Alexander the Great in 330 BCE, but its administrative system influenced many later empires. Roman. Rome began as a small settlement on the Italian peninsula, before expanding into an empire that controlled much of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East for centuries. Roman engineers constructed vast networks of roads, aqueducts, bridges, harbors, and public buildings that connected distant provinces and supplied growing cities with fresh water. Their legal system, military organization, and republican institutions shaped later governments, while Latin became the foundation of many modern European languages. Monumental structures such as the Colosseum, Pantheon, and countless amphitheaters demonstrated remarkable engineering skill. Even after the Western Roman Empire fell in 476 CE, Roman law, architecture, language, and culture continued shaping civilizations across the world. Olmec. The Olmecs were the earliest major civilization of Mesoamerica, flourishing along the Gulf Coast of present-day Mexico from around 1500 to 400 BCE. They built ceremonial centers, carved enormous stone heads weighing several tons, and established religious traditions that later civilizations adopted. The Olmecs developed long-distance trade networks, advanced stone carving techniques, and some of the earliest known writing and calendar systems in the Americas. Because many later cultures built upon their achievements, historians often refer to the Olmecs as the mother civilization of Mesoamerica. Maya. The Maya civilization flourished across present-day Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador for more than 2,000 years. Instead of forming one empire, the Maya lived in powerful city-states such as Tikal, Palenque, and Chichen Itza that traded, allied, and fought with one another. They developed one of the America's most advanced writing systems, discovered the mathematical concept of zero independently, and created highly accurate calendars through detailed astronomical observations. Their stepped pyramids, palaces, temples, and observatories remain among the greatest architectural achievements of the ancient Americas. Aztec. The Aztec civilization dominated central Mexico during the 15th and early 16th centuries, ruling a powerful empire from its island capital of Tenochtitlan. The city was connected by causeways and canals, while fertile floating gardens called chinampas allowed intensive farming despite limited land. The Aztecs maintained a highly organized military, collected tribute from conquered regions, and developed detailed calendars, religious ceremonies, and impressive stone architecture. Their empire ended after the arrival of Spanish conquistadors in the early 16th century, but their language, culture, and traditions continue to influence modern Mexico. Inca. The Inca built the largest empire in pre-Columbian America, stretching along the Andes Mountains from modern-day Colombia to Chile. Without wheeled transport or a written alphabet, they governed millions of people through an efficient administrative system connected by more than 40,000 kilometers of roads and rope bridges. They mastered terrace farming, irrigation, and stone construction, building remarkable sites such as Machu Picchu and expanding their capital at Cusco. The empire relied on organized labor instead of currency, with citizens contributing work to support public projects and agriculture. Spanish conquistadors conquered the empire in the 16th century, but Inca engineering and cultural traditions remain admired throughout the world.